We found this huge limestone rock. It looked like a massive dinosaur egg. We decided to roll it and crack it open. We began the task of trying to secure a split through the centre of the limestone. Finally, we did it. Inside, Jurassic oil leaked out of it. Upon examination, we could see there was a fossilised tree trunk preserved within. Amongst some of the wood, gorgeous calcite had formed over millions of years. This was a truly exciting and unexpected find. The biggest rock we've ever tried to crack open was laid amongst this shale fall. Using our hammer and chisel, we began the immense task of breaking it open. This rock was no easy feat, but finally, after a long time persisting, a crack formed and we were able to open it up. Looking inside, we couldn't see any fossils immediately evident, but who knows what could have been inside.
We've got here this really large rock, which hopefully contains a big ammonite. So let's crack it open. Put my safety glasses on, now we can open it up. There we go, we've got a split all the way around. Let's see what's inside. Oh my gosh! It did! It contained a huge ammonite fossil. That's incredible. This is seriously impressive. Looks to be totally 3D as well. That's definitely one to prepare up for the collection. Well, it's safe to say I'm really pleased with this fossil. Hopefully we find some even bigger examples of this species in the future.
On a rocky beach, this Jurassic boulder was lurking. It's absolutely enormous and it's prime to contain an epic fossil. We finally managed to secure a split, and inside there was something we never expected. Running through the seams of the limestone, this mysterious blue liquid was roaming free. It's something we've never seen before. It's likely to be some kind of oil, and preserved next to it was a crushed ammonite specimen. And not only that, there was also some white calcite. What an incredible rock! A big Jurassic rock was laid amongst the beach. Using our hammer, we started to open it in the search for fossils. Rocks like this can be incredibly tricky to open due to their enormity. Thankfully, we opened this one up, and brilliantly, there was indeed an ammonite preserved inside it. Having a closer look, we could see that this was a 180 million year old specimen, and although the specimen was fairly crushed flat during preservation, we're actually really impressed with the end result. Having a closer look here, you can see lots of that lovely calcite which has formed over millions of years. Can you spot this Jurassic fossil? This limestone was just sat there after a rough sea, waiting to be picked up. You can see the pristine outer edge of this freshly revealed ammonite specimen. Let's chip away some of the rock. Using our sharpened chisel, we delicately removed the limestone cap. Inside we can see a stunning pyritic ammonite has been revealed. With a little bit more preparation at home, we will be able to restore this ammonite to its full former glory. Within this fresh shale slab, a large rock was exposed. We extracted it with our hammer and chisel. Now we've got it loose, it's time to open it up. This rock was really tricky to properly open. However, finally we managed it. Looking inside, all we can see is some calcification. Within the pebble beach, a Jurassic ammonite was sat waiting. As we approached it, we could see part of the fossil protruding from the edge of the limestone. This fossil has some serious potential. Lifting it out, we could see the fossil appeared complete. The rock looks quite soft, so the next thing to do is open it up. A perfect crack formed around the fossil, and inside we revealed the ammonite itself, trapped for 180 million years. Finally seen the light of day again. This large rounded boulder was sat amongst lots of smaller pebbles on the beach. It was perfectly round and we started to crack it open. A really satisfying split formed directly through the centre of this boulder. Opening it up, we couldn't wait to see what was inside. Immediately we could see a crushed, partially preserved ammonite fossil on one half, and on the other, lots of calcification. You can see here all of this natural calcite which has formed over several million years. Breaking the rock down a little bit further, we again couldn't see any evidence of fossils on this occasion, but hopefully next time. Hidden within these rocks, an ammonite is hiding. Right there we can see a Jurassic specimen laid amongst the sand. The outer whorl is pyritic and looks beautiful. Lifting it up, we can immediately see the entire specimen is preserved within. Let's open it up. A perfect split is secured on the fossil. Let's see what it looks like inside.
Oh, nice. I didn't think it was going to turn out that good.
To our disbelief, it is indeed perfect. We didn't expect it to look this good. A little bit of preparation at home and it'll be ready for display. What a stunning find. This enormous rock was found whilst out fossil hunting. Using our trusty hammer, we started opening it up and quite quickly established a perfect split all the way through the centre of it. Looking inside this Jurassic rock, 185 million years in the making, we didn't see any real fossils whatsoever, apart from some stunning calcification which had formed all over those millions of years. Let's hope that next time there's also a fossil preserved alongside this calcite. This rock should open fairly easily. Let's give it a shot. Oh, look at that. It's got a perfect ammonite inside. Whilst out fossil hunting, we found this rounded boulder. We set it down into the perfect place on the beach so we could begin cracking it open. Using our favourite hammer, we managed to get a lovely crack through the centre of this rock. Pulling it apart, it was unfortunately immediately evident that there was no fossils within this rock, but there was some really nice calcification.
This huge nodule is a Jurassic rock, just waiting to be opened to see what's inside. Hitting it with our hammer a few times, it's formed a lovely crack all the way through the nodule. Opening it up, we wondered what would be inside. Unfortunately, there's no fossils whatsoever. However, we do have lots of lovely calcite crystals hidden within the rock. Not the fossil we hoped for, but still pretty nice to see.
This ancient rock should contain a fossil, so let's open it. On this occasion, it was actually completely empty. Better luck next time. This large, freshly exposed rock looked to contain an equally huge ammonite fossil preserved within. Using our hammer and chisel, we gently excavated it. Next thing, we'll crack it open.
Jamming it between the rocks keeps it in position. Just do a few light taps just to bed the chisel in place. There we go, it's a perfect split. Oh, lovely, it's a really nice Hildoceros. Lovely and pyritised, it's some nice gold. That's awesome. Really pleased with that one.
Let's open this rock. A single hammer tap reveals the start of a fossil. A few taps later and we've exposed even more of the ammonite. Look at that golden, perfect specimen. We found this enormous boulder down by the beach. Lifting it on its edge, we began opening it with our hammer. Quite quickly, we started to establish a crack, and before we knew it, it opened. Looking inside, there was a poorly preserved fossil, but alongside that, there was lots of really gorgeous calcite. Just look at that. This ancient rock had been laid on the beach for centuries. We opened it in the hope it would contain a fossil. This first rock was empty. Let's try the next. Unbelievably, this one did contain an ammonite. This large boulder was revealed after a storm. It was just laid on the beach, ready to be opened up. We set it down into the perfect place and started opening it with our hammer. After a number of hammer blows, we managed to establish a crack all the way through the centre of the rock. It broke into several pieces, and unfortunately on this occasion there was no fossil inside whatsoever. Better luck next time. This Jurassic rock needs to be opened. Using our trusted hammer, we started to reveal it, and then it opened. Inside we've got this absolutely perfect Jurassic specimen. This massive nodule was sat on the beach. We came along with our rusty hammer and decided to crack it open. Turning the nodule on its edge, we found a perfect part to start cracking inside the nodule. After a fair few hits, we managed to establish a stunning crack all the way through the centre of it. The nodule was now open. Looking inside this 185 million year old rock, we found the compressed remains of a Jurassic ammonite. We were hoping for a fossil a little bit more three-dimensional than this, but hopefully next time there'll be an even better fossil preserved within. We found several old rocks and opened this one. Hopefully there's a fossil inside.
Whoa, that's amazing.
It's a nice one, that.
We've got a perfect Jurassic ammonite trapped within. This huge boulder was one of the few things we found on today's fossil hunt. We managed to crack it open with just a few taps of the hammer. It was really satisfying to see a big crack form throughout the centre of the rock. Pulling it apart, we opened it up to see if any fossils were indeed inside. On this occasion, as you can see in just a moment, there was indeed an ammonite fossil. It was quite small, quite crushed, and partially preserved, and not what we were looking for on this occasion. This small pebble was just sat amongst the shingle. Immediately we recognised it as a potentially fossil-bearing rock. Picking it up, we started to crack it with our hammer. After just a couple of hits, we managed to establish a superb crack all the way around the ammonite. The fossil inside on this occasion wasn't fully revealed, however the part that was revealed showed a gorgeous suture pattern. Look at all of that definition. We'll be able to expose even more of it at home. On the beach, this enormous rock was laid there just waiting to be opened. Turning the rock on its edge, we began to use our hammer to crack it open. It took quite a few hits. The rock was really tough, but finally we managed to secure a split straight through the middle of this huge rock. Opening it up, we were so intrigued as to what could be inside. On this occasion, all we could see was calcification. No specific fossils as such, but it was worth a shot. Better luck next time. rock contains a golden ammonite, so let's crack it open.
Oh, incredible. That's a lovely specimen. It's so golden. I'm really pleased with that one.
We found this large limestone boulder after fossil hunting. Unbelievably, given how big it is, we actually managed to open it really quickly with just a few taps of the hammer. It was filled with fractures, but unfortunately had no fossils inside whatsoever. However, we did find some really lovely, delicate calcite hidden inside. Even though there was no fossils, we were still really pleased with having a look at this mineral. We came across this huge Jurassic nodule. We flipped it over and couldn't resist opening it up to see what would be inside. Thankfully, the rock opened really easily, and before we knew it, we were inside. On this occasion, there was a small, poorly preserved ammonite and a squid fossil. Not something worth taking home on this occasion. The tide was coming in, so we had to quickly open this huge nodule. This limestone rock potentially was going to contain a really nice fossil. They're often empty, but every now and again there's a nice fossil hidden inside. After a few hits with the hammer, we finally managed to open it up, and this nodule was completely empty. Better luck next time.
This large boulder was revealed after a storm. It was just laid on the beach ready to be opened up. We set it down into the perfect place and started opening it with our hammer. After a number of hammer blows, we managed to establish a crack all the way through the centre of the rock. It broke into several pieces, and unfortunately on this occasion there was no fossil inside whatsoever. Protruding out from some soft shale, this fossil squid was starting to be revealed. Gently using our hand, we removed the soft fractured shale from around it. We were then able to lift it up and remove a little bit more of this mud and clay. Although this fossil looks really eroded at the moment, when we take it home and prepare it, this squid fossil will be restored to its former glory. This enormous rock was found whilst out fossil hunting. Using our trusty hammer, we started opening it up and quite quickly established a perfect split all the way through the centre of it. Looking inside this Jurassic rock, 185 million years in the making, we didn't see any real fossils whatsoever, apart from some stunning calcification which had formed all over those millions of years. Entombed within this soft shale, we noticed a fossil starting to be revealed. The shale was so fragile we could easily remove it. We discovered that it was actually a fossilized squid. This Jurassic squid is 180 million years old. It's quite eroded, but when we take it home and prepare it, it'll look absolutely perfect.
Looks pretty good. Let's open it up. It's got a perfect crack straight away.
Oh, there's a few small ammonite specimens. It's not too bad at all. Looks to be at least 4, which should be complete once we've prepared them.
This large rounded boulder was sat amongst lots of smaller pebbles on the beach. It was perfectly round and we started to crack it open. A really satisfying split formed directly through the centre of this boulder. Opening it up, we couldn't wait to see what was inside. Immediately we could see a crushed, partially preserved ammonite fossil on one half, and on the other, lots of calcification. You can see here all of this natural calcite which has formed over several million years. Showing from out of this shale is a mysterious fossil. Gently removing lots of this flaky shale, we could immediately reveal it was in fact a fossilized squid. We had a quick look around and found 2 more. Here's one of them. This was just sat on the surface, literally like this, waiting to be picked up. These are the 3 that we found, all within just a couple of minutes of each other. We found this enormous boulder down by the beach. Lifting it on its edge, we began opening it with our hammer. Quite quickly, we started to establish a crack, and before we knew it, it opened. Looking inside, there was a poorly preserved fossil, but alongside that, there was lots of really gorgeous calcite. Just look at that. Let's excavate this rock. Hidden within some soft shale, this large limestone rock looked like it could contain a fossil. We gently revealed it, literally by pulling away the shale. Looking around the edge, we could see there was definitely a fossil contained within. So let's open it. Giving the rock a few taps with our hammer, we revealed the edge of an ammonite, and a few taps later we opened it up. You can see there was a Jurassic specimen preserved inside.
We came across this fresh lump of shale, and within it, a Jurassic rock. After removing some of the shale, we released the rock, and it's now time to crack it open. Setting it down on the beach, we've got the perfect hammer to tackle a rock of this size. It's going to be quite a tricky one to open up. A few shards came flying off, just shows you've got to wear safety glasses at all times. But finally, we managed to crack it open. On this occasion, inside, there were no fossils whatsoever, so hopefully the next rock we open up will contain a fossil. This massive Jurassic limestone rock was sat on a pebble beach. We decided to try and open it up in the hope that a perfect Jurassic fossil would be hidden inside. This rock was particularly difficult to open up. Eventually, a perfect crack formed throughout the entire rock. On this occasion, inside, a very partial ammonite fossil, but really poorly preserved. Better luck next time.
This rock should hopefully contain a fossil. Let's wash it off and open it up. It's a lot cleaner now. Now we can crack it open. Let's see what was inside. Completely empty. Oh well, better look next time.
This incredibly huge nodule we found on a pebble beach. We decided to open it up. We were hoping that inside there could be a potentially perfect ammonite fossil from the Jurassic. This was very difficult to open up, but we got there in the end. A perfect crack has formed all the way throughout the nodule. No obvious fossils inside. On this occasion, just a small trace fossil.
We found this large rounded rock and couldn't resist opening it up to see if there'd be any fossils inside. Using our hammer, we gave it a few taps, and slowly but surely, we managed to break inside the nodule.
On this occasion, unfortunately, it was totally empty. Better luck next time.
Well, it's absolutely full of disappointment.
This ancient limestone boulder had been laid around for a little while, so we decided to open it up and see if any fossils were hiding inside. There's quite a few rocks like this laid around, but we decided to open this one, hoping it would contain an ammonite. After a few taps with the hammer, it started to open up, but it was very fractured, full of natural cracks throughout the rock. We opened it up as best we could, and inside there was no fossils whatsoever on this occasion. We came across this enormous Jurassic rock. We couldn't resist opening it up to see what would be inside. It was really heavily fractured and surprisingly easy to open. With just a few taps of our hammer, we were straight through to the core of the nodule. Finally, once we got to the middle, all there was some calcite. It looked really nice, however. Wasn't what we were looking for, but we were still pleased to find these lovely minerals hidden within.